Alright, so one minute wisdom from the Rebbe for today. So as we come to the day of Yud Shevat, we think to ourselves the idea of a yahrzeit. Now by tzaddikim there is generally two ways of celebrating a yahrzeit. Some yardzeits are celebrated in a way which is a day of joy, a day of celebration in a certain sense. And then there are some yahrzeits which are more of a serious time, a time which this person feels bitter and starts thinking about where he's holding. Now, this usually B'Hashgacha Pratis works out that the way each yahrzeit is celebrated is based on the character of whom we're celebrating on this day. So when it comes to Yud Shevat, the time of Hillula, of the Friedrich Rebbe, it's a time which is celebrated in a way of joy. And it's established in a way which is a joyous time, as the Friedrich Rebbe himself was all about. This is also true about going to the oil of the Friedrich Rebbe. When we go to the oil, some certain tzaddikim's oils that you go to, different kvarim of tzaddikim, sometimes a person walks out feeling very bitter and serious about himself, farkfetched. But when you go to the oil of the Friedrich Rebbe, you walk out even before you start thinking about it. You already feel elated. You already feel starting to come to the way of joy, that you feel uplifted from the Rebbe. And this is the way the Friedrich Rebbe was his whole life. And that's wherefore the way we celebrate his day. That when it comes to the Friedrich Rebbe, his whole life is all about bringing people close to the ways of Hashem. In a way of sweetness, uplifting a Jew, finding a Jew even if he's on the lowest of levels, lifting him up to a higher place in a way of sweetness, showing him the pleasantness of Elikos. And that's the way that the yahrzeit is celebrated as well, in a way of joy, in a way of pleasantness, and not in a way of bitterness or being closed up at all. And therefore, when it comes to the time of a yahrzeit, we have to think to ourselves how we should connect ourselves to the tzaddik even more. So when it comes to a very special day of a yahrzeit by the Friedrich Rebbe, we should think to ourselves, how are we able to go to a higher level in Kedusha? How are we able to come a little bit closer to holiness, both between us and God, as well as between us and a fellow friend, to grow in every aspect of our lives. Through that, we're going to be more connected to the Friedrich Rebbe, and the Friedrich Rebbe will arouse a lot of mercy for us, to give us lots of blessings, and through those who are connected to him, to the rest of the Jewish people as well, that everyone should have everything they need, both physically and spiritually, and not only, but of course also, in a way of kindness and mercy, but even more so in a way of joy, which breaks through all boundaries. L'chaim, l'chaim.